HarperCollins and HarperAudio present Taking Care, The Story of Nursing and Its Power to Change Our World by Sarah Digregorio. Read by Anne-Marie Gideon. For a mole, and for all who nurse. Author's note. I put a lot of thought into how to identify people's professional roles in this book. I would like to be succinct, clear, and respectful. In the end, I decided that the best solution was the one that would provide the most clarity for the reader with the most simplicity. So, where applicable, I have identified people upon first mention by whichever degree, PhD, MD, BSN, ADN, and license, RN, APRN, CNA, most clearly identify them within the context of this book. Some sources have many more than 2 credentials, which they customarily list after their names. For those sources, I have chosen, in concert with that source, to list the degree and license best able to help the reader understand that source's role. For instance, I identify a nurse scholar who usually includes PhD, RN, FAAN after her name, as a PhD RN, and then make it clear where that person works and in what context. Also, in all cases, I have omitted honorifics, including doctor, because it is not clarifying. A doctor holds a doctorate. That could be a PhD, an MD, a DDS, and so on. This is also why I refer to physicians as physicians and not doctors. By contrast, a degree and license clearly identify a person's practice, discipline, and education. For the purposes of this book, I define nurses and nursing as broadly as possible, in part because nursing has historically been defined narrowly, in a purposefully exclusionary way with regard to race, class, gender, and cultural context. When considering practitioners over time, deciding whom to call a nurse is often subjective, as healthcare practices and professions have not always been defined, licensed, or delineated the way they are today. When looking to the past, I cast a wide net, including all caregivers who arguably practiced with a recognizable and distinct nursing ethos. There are plenty of holes to be poked in this approach, but I believe that a narrower focus has only impoverished our understanding of the vast potential of nursing, and served both to keep people out and to discredit different ways of knowing. This has limited the care available to everyone. Conceptualizing the field in the most expansive, inclusive ways can invite many more people into the project of nursing, help the public value nursing differently, and help nurses build new meanings from their work. There is, of course, often a difference to be drawn between nurses who are trained and accredited and all those who nurse. However, training and accrediting are not and have never been neutral or available to all. When some say, for instance, that Florence Nightingale was a nurse, but that her contemporary Mary Seacole, a Jamaican woman who nursed, was not, or when we call trained male nurses of the past physician assistants or orderlies instead of nurses, we are perpetuating the false idea that nurses are one kind of person, with one kind of knowing. To find the stories in this book, I used primary sources like newspapers and autobiographies, but I also relied very much on the deep and scholarly research of nursing historians, who do the hard work of excavating and analyzing nursing history. If you are interested in nursing history, this book is a great place to start, but please note that the many historians who are quoted and cited here go deeper in their own writings than this space allows. See the extensive notes on my sources and the selected bibliography. Quotes from the interviews I conducted have been condensed and lightly edited for clarity. In some cases, such as when a source was not authorized to speak to the press, was concerned about retaliation, or for patient privacy, interviewees are identified by their first name only, or by a pseudonym where noted. Introduction. If you have spent any time in a hospital or healthcare setting, you've probably had an encounter with a nurse that lingers in your mind. For most of my life, I have accompanied my mother, my father, and my daughter, all of whom suffered serious chronic illnesses, to hospitals, clinics,
Sample complete. Ready to continue?